This video should be illegal. In almost all outdoor kart circuits in the UK, they have banned the use of personal cameras attached to your body or helmet. However, not the inside of your helmet. So with this clever camera, I'm able to record the footage you're about to see. Let's go. Hello everyone, my name is UKOG and welcome to the Teesside Autodrome in Middlesbrough, UK. The track is over 2.1 kilometers long and the twin-engine go-karts can go over 60 miles an hour. This is my first karting video on the channel, so I can't wait to show you guys all the action from this race. I'm planning on doing loads more karting stuff in the future as well, so make sure to hit that sub button if that tickles your pickle. So without further ado, let me show you a full lap around this awesome track. So, we go over the start-finish line here into a insanely quick chicane, just barely flat, using all the track, and then as we exit, we just clip to the left there, a very easy bend into a very bumpy braking zone, almost flat to be honest, using all the curb on the inside, running out wide, and now we're heading into the chicane that has a little bit of an uphill. I don't know if the camera quite shows how steep this is, but it is pretty steep coming up here, and then we swoop to the right onto the longest straight of the track. Now, we're going to get a bit of slipstream here, so we're going to go even quicker. This is where you can make a lot of moves and close up to the back of people. The power of slipstream is insane here. We then have a flat S section, really high speed into the heaviest braking zone on the track, hairpin 1, and then immediately into another hairpin. You can take this flat with the right line, and now onto the back straight, coming into the fastest corner on the track, South Bank. This is a long right-hander, and if you get in the slipstream from one, it can get very spicy. Another hard braking zone here into the third hairpin of the track, and then bring it back across for the final hairpin here. This one's flat as well, similar to the last pair, and then a run to the line through a left kink and a right kink. So very fast, hard braking, and crazy overtaking. It's everything you want from a kart track. So the session we're on today is called an Open Ironman, and basically the format for that is a 20-minute practice / qualifying to get used to the kart track, and then a 40-minute race. These sell out really fast, you get some very quick drivers in these. However, you also get a few novices as well, you know? You'll see the odd yellow flag, the odd back marker, but not too many. Some of the karts are a little bit underpowered, and also there are no weight classes, so it can be a little bit comical when you see how quick some other people are down a straight. Oh my god! But if you're going with an open mind and just want to have fun, this is the absolute best place to be. And in what felt like a blink of an eye, that was it. The 20 minutes of qualifying / practice was up. So now we're going to meet back before the start-finish line and then be gridded up in our positions from quickest to slowest. And to be honest, this is one of the most nerve-wracking parts of the whole thing. I haven't been here in a while, so you know, I was really hoping I'd be up there. Usually, I used to always start, you know, first or second row, but as we come down here, I get a little bit of a reality check, as this ain't the first row, this ain't the second row. We are at the very back of the fourth row, P12. And with over 30 drivers in this race, this is going to be absolute carnage. So let's get to it. Flag is dropped, and it is the start of the race. Green. And as we go into turn 1, it's side by side. We're getting bumped from the rear into number 15. I have basically no control of my kart because I'm being pushed from behind so hard. So we get a crazy launch through here, and I want to cover the inside line for this right-hander, and I feel like I do, but then number 9 here, just sending it over that curb straight into the side of everyone. I don't think he used the brakes at all, but that caused a massive crash behind because of the huge Constantina effect, but didn't affect us. We crack on, and down the inside of number 3, immediately a move there. We got to make any opportunity we can work for us, because if you're not going forward, you're going backwards, especially in these opening laps, and because it's rental karting, people just don't care, you know? They just don't care. They will send it from however far back they deem fit. So, yeah, we managed to cover off into the hairpin on that first lap. No one too close behind, and immediately make another move there. You know, they're all closing up. They were all making moves on each other. We saw a gap. We took it. And now the guy behind me is trying to come back at me, so cover the inside here, get a bit of slipstream from number 9 and number 2, and you see him, when you're in the slipstream, the kart is really wanting to break away, but we're able to keep it under control, hard on the brakes here, and number 2 running very wide there. Maybe the cold tires on lap 1 as well playing into effect, and that lets us slip up the inside. Very, very good opening lap. Even with number 9 causing us a bit of issues, I think we gained a few positions there. But it's not just other karts you need to watch out for in these kind of races. There's other obstacles as well. Check out this. Now, the camera didn't do that enough justice, I don't think, but that was a huge stone that ricocheted off my visor, and it just made me think, like, look, if I didn't have a visor, I would have my eye out just then. So, yeah, it was quite a shock at lap 2 of the race, but it's what it is. Let's crack on. It's just what I love about karting. It's so raw, you know? And you probably noticed down this back straight, just the power of slipstream is pretty damn crazy. And throughout this race, the wind was picking up, so it really gave you such a good advantage if you were right behind someone. So I'm pointing at this guy. Look, let me bump draft you. I'm going to push you up to the guys ahead, and maybe we can catch him up. But he's just overly defending, and he wants to keep me behind. He's trying his hardest, and look, he's just making mistakes and running wide. So I just slide on through. I stop pointing forward, saying, look, let's work together. You push me, you know, use this slipstream to push me up to them, and we'll get him. And he gets the message. He pushes me through here and gives me a little bit of a speed boost. I was still a little bit wary of him because he was the driver that terrorized everyone at turn 1 of the race. But he seems to have calmed down, and he's helping me catch these guys ahead while they're fighting. And then, look, a door opens on the inside. So I just slot myself in, get into that slipstream, and you can see the karts ahead do have a bit more power, but now the slipstream kicks in, and I'm on the back of 34, just pushing him down the straight. Lets me overtake the guy on the left, and now up the inside into this tight hairpin. He runs it really wide there. I think he locked up the brakes, and a little tap there into the second hairpin, but it's enough to make it through, and they're fighting like crazy behind now. I think they're 3 wide. The camera doesn't quite show it, but yeah, now I've got clear air to just crack on and try and catch the guys ahead of me. And it's at this point of the race I'm a little bit worried because I don't really know what my pace is, and if qualifying's anything to go by, these guys should be way quicker than me. So I'm just hoping that maybe I've you know, got the confidence and gained a little bit of knowledge, and I'm able to go a bit quicker. And it does seem like it's working. You know, the guys ahead are fighting like crazy. They're 3 wide into almost every corner, and yeah, I feel like I'm just getting that confidence, and that's so much of it, you know, just being able to break that 5% later, you know, be a little bit more aggressive on the steering. And we come up to our first major back marker here, and I catch him at the worst spot, that second hairpin. You know, if you have to run right around the outside, there's no grip there, so it really does suck if you catch a back marker there. And look at this guy, number 35. I think they started on the front row, or is it 39? No, 39, sorry. They started on the front row, and I think their kart's dying, so unfortunate for them, but a freebie for us. And unfortunately, that is just a common thing in rental karting. Karts will die, unfortunately, and you will have mechanical issues. But we just got to focus on our own race, and we got to try and catch up to these guys ahead. And, you know, every corner they're fighting each other is just making me smile because that gap is closing down, and again, they're like 2 wide, 3 wide, just sending it every opportunity they get. I love it. This is why I love karting, and now we are here. We're here to fight. And even though we started all the way down in 12th, this is now a fight for 4th position. So, you know, these guys are going to be quick. They're going to know what they're doing. So what I want to do is try and just get as much experience as quick as possible on how they drive, how quick their karts seem, and where there's any opportunities for me to make a send. And there's lots of bumping and banging still. And also, number 42 here, I'm going to give him a wave because that is one of my moderators from my Twitch channel. I've known him for years. He's a really good friend of mine, and he's kind of convinced me to come back karting. So you can thank him in the number 42, Lewis. for this video. As Lewis does a monster send as I clumsily try and follow and actually give number 22 a speed boost there. But Lewis sees right through it, does a nice cutback, and this is where you see the difference in karts. Look, Lewis in the 42 just getting out-dragged by the number 22 there, and yeah, I think me and Lewis have quite similar karts. Obviously the slipstream effect playing into it now. But yeah, number 22 has a rocket ship as we slide up the inside there. The opportunity presented itself, but unfortunately not enough momentum. 22 holds the inside and is able to re-overtake us. And it's just next lap where I see them getting super aggressive with each other, and this is where my sim racer brain kicks in. I've seen this all before, so I set up a move. I'm telling you guys, sim racing works. So now we're up into 5th position, closing in on 4th, the driver in the pink there, but this is where our race is going to get undone a little bit. You'll notice we're coming up to a back marker again into this second hairpin, one of the worst spots, and they just run a little bit wide, and it allows number 22 and Lewis to get back through, and then they don't notice me on the outside, so I'm getting a little bit squeezed there, and you know, obviously they didn't do anything wrong, you know, they didn't want to block us or anything like that. It's just wrong place, wrong time, unfortunately. So yeah, now we've got all that work to do again, and I think here is just a really good example of how quick that kart number 22 is. Look at the acceleration he gets there, and the only reason he stops accelerating is because Lewis blocks him off there. And then later in the lap, I get a really nice run over the top of the hill. Great momentum, pulling past him. But now he just starts to pull back. And yeah. I was a little bit annoyed. But thankfully, we do have a weapon up our sleeves. It's what we've been speaking about throughout the race. The power of slipstream is just huge, and it's getting windier and windier, so we get a nice run out of this corner, and we just follow him, and then we're not able to get, like, alongside, but close, and then he runs wide to take the racing line into this hairpin. We just go up the inside, so for some reason he just didn't defend it. I don't know why, so maybe he'll learn in the next few laps, but yeah, it allows me to get back through, so we're closing up to Lewis, and there he is again! He just accelerated around us, so I was like, what the hell? Like, how is he so fast, man? Like, so, yeah, we catch another back marker into those hairpins, but thankfully I was able to get through quite nicely there, and I was making a few little mistakes, so I dropped back a little bit, but then a nice good mountain section, and we're back onto him, and look at this, the run we got now, in comparison to before, he just drove straight past us again, but slipstream, I'm now the one pushing him! I've got DRS! Absolutely flying down this. Oh my god, that is just insane, the speed we just got. And that puts us right onto the back of Lewis again, and we're back again into the fight. And number 22 has managed to get to the inside. Lewis making a mistake there, running wide. And now I'm just going to do the exact same thing again. Just wait until he runs wide there, going for the racing line and sneak up the inside. And yeah, I don't know why he wasn't defending that. Very strange. But I reckon he'll probably watch this video maybe and remember for next time. But unfortunately, all that fighting means that P4 is just driven away, so not really enough time in this race to think about catching them back up. And, you know, they're still right behind me, Lewis and 22, and I do the exact same mistake Lewis did. I run wide there, focusing on the karts behind. Lewis comes through, he's pointing at me, calling me a dumbass, basically, and then also 22 gets through. But, again, 22 goes for the racing line, we sneak back up the inside, and 3 laps in a row nearly, we're able to just, you know, make the move stick on him. So, I'm quite thankful for that, and now we're in Lewis's slipstream, and you can't quite see it on the camera, just on the bottom left there, we're side by side into the chicane, but he backs out wisely. That could have been a mega crash. But that meant that he dropped back a lot, so now it's just me and Lewis with about a 1 second gap. So I'm thinking, look, I'm just going to bump draft Lewis, so it's going to help us both accelerate away from this guy, and then, you know, when the last lap board comes out, basically, I can try and go for a move on Lewis and, you know, finalize this position, because otherwise we're just going to fight to the end, and then that will allow number 22 to close back up to us, and, you know, worst case scenario means I'll finish 7th, whereas if I work with Lewis right now and we manage to build a gap, worst case scenario is I finish 6th. So it's all these little mind games and these strategies that can really just help your finishing position, you know, and that's what matters in the end. So yeah, I'm still following Lewis. This has been about 3 or 4 laps now, but he's starting to defend. Maybe he's thinking the last lap board's coming up soon, because we don't know. Like, genuinely, we don't know. You know, you might think you know, but unless you got a stopwatch, it's very hard to tell. So I'm just like, screw it. I'm gonna go for it now. Then, you know, if he's defending, maybe his in-brain clock is better than mine. You know, so I go for the move, manage to get back up into P5, and now I'm gonna have to defend because, you know, Lewis is quick. We've got very similar karts. I'm not just gonna drive away from him. It's gonna be impossible. So yeah, just got to be smart about everything. And not smart enough, because that was a lovely send into that fast right-hander, and I do get the cutback, and maybe I could have tried to, you know, defend into this corner, but, you know, the kart number 22 is closing in, so I thought, you know what, I'm not going to fight that. I'm just going to let it go, follow Lewis again, and, you know, next lap we attack. And coming through the final hairpin, we are catching up with another back marker here. And this is going to be a very awkward one, because Lewis is going to catch him into the chicane. And if they're a bit slow here, we're going to really bunch up. And they're lifting heavily. So I lift as well, just to give myself a little bit of a gap to not, you know, just go ramming into them. And I'm a little bit too cautious. So now Lewis has got the move done. I haven't. He runs wide. I slide up the inside there using all the curb. There was a little bit of contact, but it wasn't anything serious. The guy didn't go off the track or anything. It was just like a little tiny rub. So, you know, right on the edge there. And then more back markers. I end up really clumsily going around that one. The inside line was just closing. So, yeah, I had to take to the outside, and it was just so costly. And now that means Lewis has gone. Number 22 is right behind me, and I'm thinking he's just going to want to send it. But nope. He's giving me a boost. He is giving me a boost down this straight, and look at this! We were so far behind Lewis, and the power of his kart, and slipstream, and bump drafting, and we are immediately back onto him. So that was absolutely wild. That must have been my peak straight line speed of the whole race, easily. And now I'm on attack mode, so if I see Lewis make any mistake, I am gonna punish him, and it's immediate. He over-defends through that corner. We get a crazy slingshot up the inside, and there we go. As quick as you like, there is the overtake as we come up the hill here and swoop to the right down this long straight. Now, there is a slight gap behind me from that overtake, but not enough. So, I'm going down this back straight, and I'm just now starting to feel they're pushing me. I'm getting the bump from behind. So, you know, they're touching me. I've got to make sure I defend this corner well. So I stay left a bit, hard on the brakes, opposite lock, and I managed to brake just late enough so no one can go for a move there. Round this right-hand hairpin, not running it wide. I don't want to make that same mistake twice, and now I cut to the right to defend from the guys behind. And they're now fighting hard between themselves, which gives me a bit of a gap here as we go into the final lap of the race. There it is. We go through the chicane here, and I looked to the right of me because I heard a bit of a bump, and turns out those two went side by side through there and had a bit of a crash. So that's given me about a 1 or 2 second buffer. As we come up to this back marker here, he's got a flap, a big flap poking up. He points us through, and now we have just a few more corners to go to finish our 1 hour session at Teesside. Let's go!
Oh, let's go! Woo! What a race! Hey. Oh my god!
Now, although I finished P5, guys, the 4 drivers ahead of me were juniors. So, in terms of weight class, maybe that's a win. I'm kind of taking it as that, even though on paper it doesn't say that. But, oh, that was just so much fun, man. That was so much fun. Now, I've got more karting planned in the future, and I want to make some videos on it. But the power's in your hands. If you like this video, please, please, please leave a like and a comment to let me know. Because the more motivation that you guys give me, the more, you know, inclined I'm going to be to continue with this content. So thank you so much for watching, guys. I know I enjoyed this. I hope you guys did too, and I'll catch you on the next one. Bye bye, guys.
I wish it wasn't over. That was sick.